Think about the last time a website hit you with a pop-up. You didn't read it. You didn't slow down. You didn't even process what it said. Your finger just went straight to accept all. Almost like muscle memory. Because let's be honest, you weren't trying to decode a legal agreement at midnight. You just wanted to read the page, watch the video, or check something quickly. And that pop-up? It doesn't feel like a real question. It feels like a gate, something standing between you and what you actually came for. The Accept All button is big, bright, and easy. It practically looks like a Continue button. Friendly, simple, one tap. But the Reject option? That one's different. Smaller text, more clicks, hidden under Settings, Preferences, or Manage Options. Sometimes it takes 3, 4, even 5 steps just to say no. So what do most people do? They take the fastest path. Tap, accept, move on. And within seconds, it's gone. Problem solved. Or at least, it feels like it. But here's the real question. What did you actually agree to? Not in theory, not in vague terms, but in practice. What just changed when you tapped that button? Welcome to Ordinary Things, Deep History, where we take the simplest things around you and uncover the deeper systems hiding underneath. Let's slow this down. Imagine walking into a coffee shop for the first time. You order your drink, you pay, you leave. Nothing unusual. The next day you come back, and before you even say a word, the barista looks at you and says, "Same order? No sugar, right?" You pause. Because that's unexpected. You didn't introduce yourself. You didn't give them your details. So how do they remember you? Now imagine they explain it. They hand you a tiny slip of paper and say, "We wrote down your order. Just keep this with you. Next time you come in, we'll recognize you instantly." That small slip of paper? That's basically what a cookie is. And here's the important part. It's not magic. It's not complicated. It's just memory. Because websites don't naturally remember anything. The internet runs on something called HTTP, which is just a technical way of saying, every time you open a page, the website treats you like it's meeting you for the first time. No memory, no history, no context. Even if you were there 5 seconds ago. So cookies exist to solve that. When you visit a website, the server sends your browser a tiny piece of data. This is literally called a cookie. Inside it is usually something simple, a unique identifier, not your name, not your personal details, just a number that represents you. Your browser stores it quietly. And every time you interact with that website, clicking, refreshing, navigating, your browser sends that cookie back automatically, like saying, "Hey, it's still me." And the website responds, "Oh, welcome back. You're still logged in. Your card is still here. Your settings are saved." No resets, no frustration, no starting over. And here's the thing, without cookies, a lot of the internet wouldn't work the way you expect. You'd log in and instantly be logged out. You'd add something to your cart and lose it on the next page. You'd change settings and they'd reset immediately. So in many ways, cookies are essential. They're the reason the web feels smooth. But here's where things start to shift, because that same system, the one that remembers you in one place, can also be used to recognize you in many. Cookies didn't begin as a tracking tool. Back in the early 1990s, the internet was still new. Online shopping was exciting, but also completely unreliable. You'd add items to your cart, click to another page, and suddenly everything would disappear. No cart, no memory, nothing. It made the whole experience frustrating. At Netscape, a young engineer named Lou Montulli was trying to solve that exact problem. His idea was simple. Give websites just enough memory to recognize users from one click to the next. And just like that, the modern web cookie was created. At the time, it wasn't about ads. It wasn't about tracking. It was just about fixing a broken experience. But once you create a tool that can recognize users, it opens the door to something much bigger. Today, cookies fall into 2 main categories. First, you have first-party cookies. These are created by the website you're actually visiting. They're the helpful ones. They keep you logged in, remember your cart, save your preferences. Without them, the internet would feel broken. Then there are third-party cookies, and this is where things get more complicated. They don't come from the site you're visiting. They come from external services embedded inside the page, ads, trackers, analytics tools. And their goal is very different. They don't just want to remember you in one place. They want to recognize you across the entire web. So what does that actually look like? You search for something once, and then it follows you. News site? It's there. Weather page? Still there. Different website? Still there. And it's not just ads, it's patterns. What you click, what you ignore, how long you stay, what you come back to. It feels like the internet knows you, but really, it's building a profile. And once you notice it, you start seeing it everywhere. So now the obvious question. If tracking like this makes people uncomfortable, why does almost everyone still click accept all? Because those pop-ups aren't really designed for careful decisions. They're designed for fast ones. For years, websites didn't ask at all. Tracking just happened silently in the background. Then privacy laws forced them to ask. And that's when cookie banners appeared everywhere. But instead of becoming clear and empowering, many of them became something else. A system designed to guide your behavior. The design is intentional. Accept all is easy. One click. Done. Rejecting? That takes effort. More clicks, more time, more friction, sometimes even blocked access. So it stops feeling like a real choice and starts feeling like a barrier. And that's the trap. You're not making a fully informed decision. You're just trying to move forward. But that one click can allow tracking what you click, tracking how long you stay, tracking what you ignore, tracking what you return to. Over time, this builds a detailed profile. And that profile can shape your experience. What you see, what you're recommended, what appears first. Sometimes it's just ads. Other times, it quietly changes the version of the internet you experience. The good news? You're not stuck with this. You can go into your browser settings and block third-party cookies. That way, websites still work normally. Your login stays, your cart stays, but cross-site tracking becomes much harder. You can also use privacy-focused browsers or extensions that handle this automatically. So instead of constantly dealing with pop-ups, the protection is already there. The goal isn't to remove cookies completely, it's to keep the useful ones and limit the ones that track you. Because in the end, cookies aren't good or bad, they're just a tool. Used properly, they make the internet smooth, fast, and convenient. Used the wrong way, they turn into tiny trackers following you across the web. So next time that pop-up appears, pause for a second. Because you're not just clicking a button, you're deciding how much of your data you're willing to give away. And once you understand that accept all button doesn't feel quite as harmless anymore. This is Ordinary Things, Deep History, where simple, everyday things aren't actually that simple. Thanks for watching.